Stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next, Forbidden History Live. What they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. Time to call your friends. Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, or legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Well, then come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on the realpublicradio.net. Free America Radio Network, and on YouTube.com as Forbidden History Live, and NinjaCat111 doing the Forbidden History Chronicles, and the old archives can be found at The Forbidden History Series. That's 4 words, The Forbidden History Series. Hey, Ninja, Crystal, Yochelleg, and all of you out there, stand by for the broadcast. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's Forbidden History Live, ladies and gentlemen, with your host, Dezert-Owl. What they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. Stand by for the broadcast. You're tuned in right here, ladies and gentlemen, because here is where we bring you the most important information on the face of the entire earth or under the earth. Here is where each week we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening, while we reveal the greatest secrets and the deeper mysteries of life. Yet the one question that will always remain will be this: can they handle the truth as it will be presented here this afternoon, in the evening, tomorrow at dawn, in the future, wherever you are around the world? I don't know if you can handle the truth. I don't even know if you want the truth, but the truth can set you free, yet the truth will make you a fugitive within your own land. And then you'll have to just stay right here, because there will be nowhere else to go, because the truth is stranger than fiction, ladies and gentlemen. And so get ready, because it's Forbidden History Live coming your way. Still time to call your friends. And we will be doing part 3. Is it part 3 or part 4? Oh, part 4. There it is on the board. Thank you, Yochelleg. Coming out of the book of Jasher and on Isaac, ASHAYAACH. Okay? The evidence of how the Masoretic text and the priesthoods destroyed the original script and scriptures and the stories, and Isaac is the second born, and we're going to be talking about that and reading about it coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Dezert-Owl, a bird who sees in the night. I see too much, and I wish I could find that proverbial blue pill and go back to sleep and just pretend I'm in La La Land and feel superficially good about everything, and and just go wherever the current leads you. But of course, that's not possible. Once you take the red pill, there's no coming back, and all you get is the truth, and the truth is stranger than fiction. And I want to welcome all of our friends and new listeners to Forbidden History Live here on Saturn's Day, the day when it all turns back to the sun. That's what Saturn is actually, soul turn, the soul turn, because I knew that was the farthest out in the galaxy. Of course, it doesn't fit the flat Earth narrative, of course, but for those who recognize that all the spheres are round and that they all go around the sun, the soul turn means that when it goes all the way out and finally gets Saturn, then Saturn's soul turn, and it goes back to the sun, starting over again, starting at the center, Sunday, and then moving out. The moon is next because it's the opposite polarity, the moon day, Monday, and then it and it goes out from that point on and to the other planets till it gets to Saturn again. Then it goes soul turn. Its soul turns back to the sun, and that's what soul turn means, turning back to the sun. And that's why that was the last day of the week. That's what it was implying, is that our soul had to turn. Our soul has to turn. If our soul does not turn, our soul, meaning our power source. Our power source is that brain up there, that gray matter in our head. That's the soul, connected with the heart. They call that the solar plexus. So there's this duality that's always going on within the narrative of nature, because it's trying to tell us that there are two worlds. There's the higher world, that's represented by the sun, and then there's the lower world, and guess what? That's down here. This is the lower world. If anybody thinks this is the true paradise, then boy, they've got their up and comings coming, because they're going to learn if everything's rosy for them. Well, real soon somebody's going to knock those rose-colored glasses off their face, and then they'll get the picture when they're all red, white, black, and blue. The red, white, and blue. I love that. Red, white, and black, and blue. And their colors, not my colors. You know what I mean? That I didn't create the flag, and we're going to talk about a little symbolism with the square, and I'll define where that American flag comes from based on the square. It's got a square up there, doesn't it? And so we'll find out about that. And but real quick before we get started, I just want to tell everyone you've got to go to The Higher Truth Rises. Okay, I'll type it in so you know. The Higher Truth. The Higher Truth Rises. That's a YouTube channel. Okay, and watch the last three he did over the last since yesterday. Okay, go to back 3 and start there, because everything moves forward in progression. But number 1. 3 videos ago, the third video back is literally he's got the UVC charts on the map and showing you the level of tolerance that we have. And basically, if you're going out for 15 to 30 minutes in the sun, you're already getting damaged. You're already getting damaged. It is not possible to go and play in the sun anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. and you have to cover your skin, completely. Wear a hat. Vinyl is the best protection. It's a little hard to wear a a windbreaker in the sun, so you literally can't do it. So you're just going to have to um, stay in, and even at night you're getting gamma rays. Okay, when the sun goes down, then gamma rays come in, so you're getting UV, B, and C, and so it's like I went out today to check the mail, and then I just wanted to look at the sun. I just wanted to see what it looked like, and I remember 30 years ago when you could actually, and 40 years ago maybe, within that range, 30, 40 years ago, you could look at the sun for 2.5 seconds, and it wouldn't hurt you. You could stare at it for 2-3 seconds, and then look away. You get a little bit of a stigmatism in the eye, whatever you want to call that, where it takes a minute to go away. But what I'm saying, you can look at it and actually get a picture of the sun. Stare at it for 2 seconds and not be harmed. You know what? I went out there. I turned to look at the sun, and I couldn't look at it for half a second. It is bright. It's like white light, whereas the sun was typically yellow or orange, but now it's just like it's got like a blowtorch. It turned full ramp, and that's why all the animals are dying. And Isella, good to have you. And I had a follow up on your name, by the way, so a little one more footnote on that. But with the Higher Truth, this guy's a naturopathic doctor. Okay, the Higher Truth rises. He's a naturopathic doctor. He comes from 3 generations of physicists. So the guy's a genius, all right? And he gives you the play-by-play on the effect of this binary star system that we have, and that clearly, another star has come into our system, but it's not evident because it's a dead star or a dwarf star, and it's not lit up on fire. It's like molten, and so, but you see the effects. He tells you how you can see the effects and the evidence that it's in our solar system, and it's not just the Earth that's heating up, as he points out. It's all the planets in our solar system. They're all heating up, and they're all changing in color and quality. Okay, and so that's the evidence that it's not just the Earth. In other words, it's not just the fact that we've had our ozone layer destroyed by the modern industrial revolution that never needed to happen when we had free energy, and all those petrochemicals and all that combustion engine nonsense destroyed the ozone layer. Carbons go up and carbons go down, and so we're really in trouble. But then then go to the second video, and he's getting you. Then go to the third one, and I just watched that today when I got up there. Was the third one, and I couldn't get over it. And I read every one. The list started from present, and it went backwards for the entire year of all the animal die-offs around the world. And I read every one of them. I stopped it, and I continued it. I stopped it. I read it. Read it and see it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You can know the future. Okay, you can know where we are right now, and it's game over. Okay, mass die-offs all over the world, fires, sparking out, and they're not by accident. They're being made by lightning and secret society members at the same time. Okay, because they want to create a haze over our planet to protect us from the sunlight, because they know it's now off the charts. Okay, so they're burning our planet down while the oceans are heating up. All the animals in the oceans are dying. Not to mention Fukushima, of course. Talk about another form of heating up, and you better be taking your potassium iodide. Okay, you need to be taking iodine, or get C Veg from Scott Kennedy. That's pharmacy.com, Pharmasea, pharmacy.com. Scott Kennedy's Super C Veg, but you got to get iodine in you to prevent yourself from getting the radiated iodine. So in that last documentary, 15 minutes of nonstop die-offs around the world. And in the last 2 weeks, just look at the last 2 weeks, okay? You don't have to look at the whole 15 minutes. Just look at the last 2 weeks and blow your mind, okay? Blow your mind. The all sea life is dying. How long do you think you got to live when all the sea life is dying, washing up on the beaches, no more seafood, and the millions of salmon They said in Norway, what was it, Norway, Scandinavia, all millions of salmon, like 3 million salmon died. I love salmon, and the salmon in the Pacific as well. It's all going down, ladies and gentlemen, all going down. So that's why, connecting with the great spirit of life and the good news is that this was not our planet, and so the Achilles heel to the psychopaths who sold out their birthright, the Vekores, today called Watchers, but in the Vatican they are still the Vekers, the Vekores, the Watchers. The Ve means the way. The car means knowing the movement of the way, knowing the way things work. But the irony is that the puppies in the lower echelon, not the that are out, not in the unseen hand, they're just the little puppets and pawns. They look really cute in their red beanies and their red outfits. The Vakers, the Cardinals, they're the nails in the card. Everything hinges on them. They're the players. They're the power brokers. That sold their souls to darkness. And but where was I going with that? The Watchers, when they fell, they say, hey, we want to conquer the world. And they had all that super knowledge that they inherited from their father Adam, who was the bright and shining one. He was the one who was up there with Yeshua naming all things for the 4 billion years that Earth was evolving. Then mankind was spontaneously generated at the end. Spontaneously generated. Man did not evolve. All nature evolved. You can see evolution still going on today, but you can also see the fossil remains in deep layers of mountain rock. It's obvious it's millions of years old. I mean, one has to close their eyes really tight, not to get it. And so, the reason there's so much confusion today is because they've created so much confusion today, and therefore nobody can properly process what they're seeing versus what somebody's telling them, and it's like, okay, so I got to close my eyes real hard at this, you don't have to close your eyes. You can open your eyes and see things clearly. Recognize that the Earth is 4 billion years old. The universe is 6 billion years old, but then man was made at the end of all of this cycle. Then he comes last, but there were several different generations of man that came along, and the Aryan came last, and he was the first made as the character of Adam, and he was the bright one. Now, but there were others prior to Aryan coming, and it's not to say the Aryan's better than anybody else. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking history and a symbol, because that's what it's about, because nature is speaking. But of course the African were here, and the Cro-Magnon, and the Neanderthal, and the small yellow, who we call yellow. They're not really yellow, but that's what they call them. They give everybody a label, red men and all that. But and then the Dravidian, Asian, who are not Asian, because the Asian is the Aryan. It's the royal eye that came down. And so this knowledge that the Watchers, this is the reason they knew they could conquer the world, because they knew how everything operated in the world, and then they'd go to work building these civilizations. So the Achilles heel in this whole deal was that this knowledge where they could industrialize our world, they could become creators themselves, which is what they boast about in Freemasonry, that they are the creators. Not to mention, they also brag about that they're the destroyers. They're proud to be creators, they're proud to be destroyers, and they also claim and are proud of the fact that they wage all revolutions. So all wars, all deception, all destruction of mankind, all the destruction of men, women, and children, starvation, you name it. They're so proud to be the Shiva lingam, that is standing on the baby doing a dance. They're just so proud of it. So this knowledge that was given to us that could literally engineer our modern society, because it was through the Aryan race, as we see Hitler typified it in his day, right? And he went down to northern India and Tibet and got the secret turbine engine technology and the helicopter technology and the mercury vortex engine of the Vimana, and anti-gravity, what we call UFOs today, but they're identified. It's an open secret. There are no unidentified flying craft. They are all part of the World Federation, Underground Federation, okay, in your face, but they know that you'll never figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're counting on, but you don't have to be deceived. So this great knowledge that was given to them, this technology of mathematics and the ability to to mix or to cross splice genes or plants or selective breeding, all of this, and then in the end we get these skyscrapers. They're scraping the skies, you know and then in the end, because of their arrogance, their own desire for power, lust for power, and and the game. It is the game, right? That's why people love Monday Night Football, because it's all about the game. They're just waiting for Monday to come around. I can't wait for Monday Night Football, and then it's that 3 hours of an adrenaline rush that you got to get it again next week. Are they going to win the game? But the irony is they lost the game. They lost the game because the game is game over. Okay, because with this arrogance of thinking they're going to create some super, industrial age that started in the 1800s, then has now destroyed the ozone layer. And so that's why when we listen to Dane Wigington, who will be on later on today, he's usually on by 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com. Dane Wigington, DaneWigington, Dane Wigington. That's why he's got geoengineeringwatch.org. That's why he says that they started doing the engineering. Isaac, good to have you, and Made in Texas, all of you, welcome to the broadcast. And that's why he says that they started doing the geoengineering and the overhead spraying and manipulating of cloud cover 70 years ago, because they already knew from the readings. They already knew from the readings that the Earth was heating up. We all thought Al Gore, in his diatribe was not telling the truth, but apparently Gore was telling the truth, but it wasn't the whole truth. No love for that Illuminati, but nonetheless, it is true that the Earth is hotter. This is a record year for heat all over the planet. Okay, a record year, and they broke the records just a few years ago. And as Dane points out, there's now roughly 450 months of straight record-breaking heat temperatures around the world. 450 months approximate. That's like, how long is that? Is that 10 years or more, right? That's more than that. I can't even count. But nonetheless, it's maybe 30 years. I don't have to do the calculation, but ladies and gentlemen, we're going down. And the only thing we have left is to connect with the one who made all things. He knew that they were gonna destroy themselves. It makes sense, doesn't it? That the arrogant pieces of garbage that they had the head knowledge that they knew how the universe operated, and therefore came down and built the great pyramid civilizations. The Aryan, of course, known as the sky gods and the sun gods and the seed of light. That's what Jacob means. Jacob is Yochelleg. And Yochelleg, all of these stories, these original stories, were covered up. They were covered up. They had to be, because they didn't want us to know the true narrative of who we really are and who's playing all the games on Earth. It's not some invisible creature with wings on his back. It's man. Man's the problem. Anytime you're having a bad day, something going down in your life, you know that it's somebody who puts pants on just like everybody else making a problem for you, right? Whether it's government or whether it's whatever, family, it's somebody, but they got us to, you see, and that's it, what it is. It's lust for power, lust for control, lust for more, give me more. Oh, that's the Freemasonic handbook, more, morals and dogma, more, give me all. I want it more. You see, because people use the word morals like the word ethics, and they think that it means more ethics, and it doesn't. More is morals and dogma. They want it all, and it's their dogma. Their mother dogs. The mother's dogs are the priesthood. That's the Masons. You see, the more for all and all for them, and the Freemasons, and their dogma, and of course it's am God backwards. The anagram is am God, but God is the Pope, because these are the words they switched out. Do you want phony words? Do you want words that don't belong to your scriptures? So So I hope that we'll be able to wrap our mind around some of this today, ladies and gentlemen, because the truth is stranger than fiction, and it's challenging, to say the least, to go against the grain of everything that's out there and to be able to state it clearly with and with evidence of all the keys within the scriptures. I'm going to give you some example today as well, right? And let me get some light going on here, and let there be Zorain, yeah, and they changed all those words to Zor. The Zor, about Zorro. They made a mythological tale about Zorro. Well, what do you think Zorro means? It represents the sun, the Z and the O. Zorro. Ro, which goes round, the ro, going round, the sun going round, Zorro. The making the Z on everything. See, it's the power, but they're the phony illuminated. They don't have any real light nor any power, so that's the great irony, ladies and gentlemen. And all right, let me take a deep breath here. Okay, I'm feeling better now. When you've been studying this stuff for the better part of a lifetime, and nobody gets it, it's rather frustrating, I have to tell you. And you find yourself alone on a mountain somewhere, and our reality is an independent spiritual world. You see, that's the secret. Our reality. This is my latest quote. Okay. Our reality is an independent spiritual world, and that's we'll have to put that one up on the board too, Shelley. Okay, and I got words in front of me. Before we get into the final part of the story, part 4, I just want to go through some ASHAYAACH. Okay, and so I've got a book from the 1800s, the Book of Adam and Eve, and unlike the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden, this book, the Book of Adam and Eve, has additional material, and I found it. So unlike Book 1 and Book 2, which we get out of the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden, lo and behold, I had no idea there was a Book 3 and a Book 4, and this is what I found now out of a book from the 1800s. And it's called the Book of Adam and Eve, but yet it's got the story of Noah. Additional, it's by Reverend S.C. Malan, D.D. And this is from a book of the early Eastern Church, translated from the Ethiopic, and also apparently some of it was translated into Arabic. And so, and the guy who discovered it was also a scholar in Arabic, apparently. So that was good news. And so anyway, I just finished reading the preface to this book, and with notes from the Caliph. I think that's Caliph. It's just a funny spelling. The Talmud, the Midrashim, and other Eastern works. So he's got footnotes in here to confirm certain things. I'm going to read one of the footnotes I was just reading today. Okay, and so anyway, I'll tell you what, Shelley, because I want to pace myself and I got a lot of ground to cover, and I already had quite an opener. Let's go to our first song, and then we'll pick it up. I just needed to pace myself, okay? And thank you for that note. Okay, yeah, very good. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Glad you tuned in. Hope you are telling your friends about the broadcast. Let's have a revolution in thinking. I'm Dezert-Owl. Don't go away. We'll be right back.